Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We would like to tell about San Francisco. The first, I'm gonna explain about the city trips in San Francisco. San Francisco, located in Northern California, is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the United States. The writer of the following article is giving tips for people who want to visit San Francisco. Tips are small piece of advice. Top 10 travel tips for visiting San Francisco: bring warm clothes, such as sweaters and long pants. San Francisco has a pretty bad homeless problem in this part of the city. Visit the parks in the city, especially Golden Gate Park. Most San Franciscans know what is going on with their local politics, which are much more active and newsworthy than almost any other city in America.
San Francisco neighborhood. Chinatown. The entrance to Chinatown and Grand Avenue and Broad Street is called Dragon Gate. Inside are 24 blocks of hustle and bustle, most of it taking place along Grand. The oldest street in San Francisco, the city within the city, is best explored on foot, exotic shop, for markets, temples, and small museum compressed in boundaries. Visitors can buy herbal remedies, enjoy samples at a tea bar, order a dim sum lunch. Nob Hill, once the home of the Silver Kings and Railroad Baron, the neighbors Nob Hill neighbor tenants include Grand's Cathedral, a replica of Notre Dame in Paris, the Cable Car Bar, where the cable cars are stored when on in service, and Guard Hotels, Russian Hill, named for burial cities of Russian hunters who are active in California water in the early 1800s, is most famous of the venues for the longest street. The coldest street in the world, between 8 and Leavenworth Street. Mission District was then of the best weather in the city. The Mission District, Bernal Heights and Potrero High take advantage of the windows of Friday. New restaurant and next spot are a drawing Will Mission Dolores City and Dolores Street, in the oldest structure in San Francisco. Many of the city's pioneers are buried in the adjective cemetery. The larger concentration of mural in the city adorn buildings, fence, and the last stroke of the district.
Hello, I'm Syarwany. I will explain about my material is New Gold Rush. In the years 1848 to 1855, around 200,000 people came to California looking for gold. This time frame is now known as the California Gold Rush. You can see evidence of the Gold Rush history in names throughout California. For example, the state official nickname is the Golden State, which is what the people looking for gold were called. Although there is not much gold left in California, there are still some people who like to pay for gold, for fun and relaxation and sometimes profit. As explained for the article entitled "The New Gold Rush Hits California," there are some people who are looking for gold using a metal slicer, and they found small pieces of gold and some small garnet, a deep red gemstone. It is nothing worth selling, he says.
This story is taken from the book Dragon Wings by Lawrence Yap. The book, entitled Dragon Wings, is the story of a Chinese boy and his father living in San Francisco in early 1900s. this part of the story, the boy experienced an earthquake in 1906. This terrible earthquake and the injury that followed was devastating most of the city. It is estimated that more than 3,000 people died in disaster, making it one of the worst in U.S. history. In the book, he recounts that when he started to stand up, a second tremor shook him and he fell forward with his face down. Then he heard the town bells ringing. It turned out that a bell was not rung by human hands, but an earthquake had just shaken their tower. He says that everywhere what man has built is crumbling. Then he saw a thin man to the right of his house that seemed to shudder and then collapse. One moment there was a solid wood wall, and then it fell with the sound of cracking wood and the clinking of glass and the screams of the people inside. Then he saw an arm sticking out of the mound. The debris turned out to be the hands of his father, who grabbed his arm and ordered the boy to stay there, and then his father helped his neighbor, Miss Whitlam.
Development of Alcatraz. I will give you background information about Alcatraz. Alcatraz Island is right in the middle of beautiful San Francisco, Bay and visible from the many high places in the city. These days, it seems like a strange place for a prison. However, prisoners of different kinds were held on Alcatraz for over 100 years. The prison closed in 1963, and the island is now a popular tourist destination. By 1853, U.S. Army engineers had started constructing a military fortress on the island, along with the Pacific Coast's first operating lighthouse. In 1848, the discovery of coal along the American River in California brought shiploads of miners from around the world to the West Coast in search of the precious metal. As word spread around the globe of abandoned gold in California, the United States government would invoke security measures to protect its land and mineral resources from seizure by other countries. Because of its natural isolation, surrounded by freezing waters and hazardous currents, Alcatraz will soon be considered by the U.S. Army as an ideal location for holding captives. In 1861, the island began receiving Civil War prisoners, and in 1898, the Spanish-American War would bring the prisoner population from a mere 26 to over 450. Then, in 1906, following the catastrophic San Francisco earthquake, hundreds of civilian prisoners were transferred to the island for safe confinement. By 1912, a large cell house had been constructed on the island's central crest, and by the late 1920s, the three-story structure was nearly at full capacity. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for watching and see you next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.